In this video, we will go ahead and solve Leetcode problem 206, which is about reversing a linked list. Let us dive into the explanation to know how we can reverse a linked list in a very efficient way. Let us say we have the following linked list and we want to reverse it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize these three nodes. Now watch how we will use these three nodes to find the reverse of this linked list. Starting with the first iteration, what you want to do is you need to save the next node of the current node inside the next variable. Now you'll set the next of the current node, which is 1, to previous, which is null PTR. Now what we got is the node 1 linked with null PTR. Then we will simply set previous to current and current to the next node. Let us repeat this process to see what will happen. At the second iteration, next will be equal to 3. We will put inside the next of current the value of previous. Current now is 2. We are saying here that the next of 2 will be 1, and you can slowly see that the linked list is being reversed. Then previous will be equal to current, and current will be equal to next. At the third iteration, next will be null. Current now is 3, and so we will place after 3 the node 2, and you can now see that the linked list was reversed. Now previous will be set to be 3 and current will be null, and right now we can stop the loop because current is now null, and we can return previous because it contains the reverse of our linked list. Now let us see how we could implement this in code. So for this video I'm going to offer you two solutions. The first solution will be an iterative way using a while loop, and the second solution will be using recursion. Now let's start with the first solution. What we need to do first is we need to initialize these three variables: previous, current, and the next node. Okay, so we're going to say list node like this. I'm going to say previous, prev like this, and I'll set it at first to null PTR. Next we will have the list node called current like this, and I'm going to set it to head like this. And the last node that we'll create will be the next node, which at the beginning let's put it as null PTR like this. Now let's use a while loop, and I'm going to say while like this, and the condition will be as long as current is different than null PTR, we want to go ahead and loop inside the while loop. Now what will be the logic of this program? Now as we saw in the explanation, let's go ahead and transform whatever we saw into code. At first what we did, we first of all set the next the next node, we set it equal to current next like this. After it, what we want to do is we want to set the next of current equal to previous, like this. After this, we will simply say previous equal to current, and we will say current equal to next. And this is the whole logic of this code. At the end, we will go ahead and say return previous, like this. Why? Because previous at the end will contain the head of the linked list that was reversed, okay? Now let's go ahead and see an example in order to see if this will work. So down here I have an implementation of a linked list. I have 4 nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here I'm linking them together. I have a solution object, and I'm calling the reverse list function, and here I'm simply printing out the nodes of our reversed linked list. Let's go ahead and run this program to see if this will work. And as you can see, we were successfully able to reverse our linked list. So at the beginning, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. And now after doing our implementation of the reverse list right here, we were able to make it 4, 3, 2, 1. So we definitely reversed our linked list. Now let me show you another solution, which will be a recursive solution. Now in order to do a recursive solution, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a helper function. So inside the class solution, I'm going to create a private function called list node first of all, and I'm going to say reverse list. So this will be our function. Now what will we do with this function? First of all, this function will accept 3 parameters. The first parameter will be the previous node, the second parameter will be the current node, and the third parameter will be the next node, like this. Now what we will do here? We will have first of all a base case like this, and we will have our recursive case. Now inside the recursive case, let's start with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to implement the same logic I have here, because the logic will stay the same. This logic right here is the one who's going to reverse for me the linked list. Now because it is a recursive function instead of a while loop, I'm going to use the function itself. So I'm going to say return reverse list, and I'm going to say previous, current, and next like this. Now what will be the condition of our base case? Now we know that if the current node arrives to null PTR, we will stop the loop and return previous. So this will be our base case. I'm going to say if current is different than null PTR, if current is equal to null PTR, I'm going to stop the recursion and I'm going to return previous. So in the end, what we'll obtain is the previous node, which will be the reverse out of our linked list. Now let's go ahead and test this out. Inside of this reverse list function, I'm going to comment this out for you like this, and instead I'm going to say return and reverse list like this, and I'm going to give the parameters some value. At first, previous will be null PTR and current will be head, and the next pointer will be as null PTR also at the beginning. Now let's go ahead and run this code to see what will happen. As you can see, the same output. So right here you have the solution in an iterative way, and right here you have the solution in a reversed way, in a recursive way. So when you want to use recursion, make sure you have this helper function, and you can call this helper function inside the main function. Alright, this is it for this Leetcode problem. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date for the next video.